Hello everyone. So we're back again as promised with the second session, and for today we discuss drum roll. When a business says nothing, what does that actually mean? So see, most of the time, and I mean most of the time, the business is fixing the wrong thing. They change the ad, they rebrand, they post more, they hire someone new, but the numbers stay exactly the same. Why? Because they are treating the symptoms and not the actual cause, right? In this video, I'm going to show you the exact diagnostic process we use for every new client, be it an edtech, be it healthcare, or be it any founder led business for that matter. How to find the real problem and the 3-week fix to actually fix it in the right order. You see, marketing breaks into four exact places, right? Not 20, not 100, no multiples, just four simple parts: targeting, creative, landing page, and the follow up. First is targeting, which basically means that you have the wrong audience that you're targeting. And this is not just about your meta interest categories. This is a deeper question, right? Are you putting your message in front of people who are ready to buy or people who are just interested in the topic? Interest and intent are not the same thing. Someone who might be interested in fitness might not be looking for a gym this week. Let that sink in. Interest and intent, I'm saying again, are not the same thing. And confusing the two things is where most targeting budgets go. And they're a waste. That makes us move on to our next point, which is creative. Sending out the wrong message. Your ad is not the problem. Your ad is just what you see, what you feel when you see it, or maybe you do not feel anything. That is the message underneath, the underlying message that people actually perceive. Most creatives fail because it leads with features instead of a person's pain points. So when a product says, look, here is what we do, that is a problem. The product should tell a person that, look, I understand what you are going through and I am ready to solve that problem for you. That is something that connects with your customer. In the audit, we check if a hook actually stops a person under 3 seconds. Or is there a creative fatigue? Or is your creative actually even talking to your customer instead of just telling them that we do this? The underline is that if your ad sounds like it's written by a marketing team and not by the team that is behind the product actually, then it's wrong. The third breakdown is your landing page, which we essentially find wrong in 80% cases. This is what happens in the next 10 seconds after a person clicks on your ad. Most landing pages have 3 problems. The headline talks about the business instead of the outcome that the visitor wants. The social proof is buried below the fold where nobody scrolls. And there are 2, 3, sometimes 4 call to actions, which is the same as not having one at all. Because the visitor is not directed towards what the business wants them to do next. So you need to fix your page before you even touch your ad. In the audit, we run a 5-second test. Someone new looks at the page for 5 seconds. Can they tell me what they should do on the page next and why? If not, then there's a problem. The fourth and the final breakdown is your follow-up. When there's no nurture system, this is the one that most businesses never look at. Because once the lead came in, the form was filled, the CPL looks fine, but the lead doesn't convert. And 3 days later, the sales team just randomly makes a cold call to someone who has probably already forgotten they even inquired. A warm prospect closes in one call. A cold one maybe takes 5 or maybe never converts at all. The difference between those two scenarios is what happens in the first 24 hours after the form is submitted. The lead is not lost, but the follow up is. I am going to show you a real audit now. This client has been anonymized by us, but all the numbers and the data stands true. An edtech brand came to us, spending on ads, getting leads, but the leads were not converting. They had run many new creatives, changed their targeting twice, changed their target audience per se, changed the course even, but their team said that nothing is working. Before we looked at a single ad or a page, we asked them 5 questions. 1. What does a good lead actually look like to you? Not a form submission, not a number. What does the right person look like when they show up? This forces clarity on the actual target that the business is aiming for. 2. Where do most leads fall off in your funnel? The question surfaces the leak that they are facing. Most businesses know the answer. They have never just reflected on it out loud. 3rd question, what has your team already tried and stopped? This tells us what is noise versus what actually matters. If 3 agencies already tried the same thing and it did not work, then we will stop looking at it at all. 4. What is your single best converting traffic source right now? There's almost always one thing that works better than everything else. We find it and we understand why before we touch anything else. And the last question, how fast does your team follow up on a new lead? The answer to this question alone reveals the real problem in most audits than any other question I have ever asked. For this client, the answer for this was 48 hours. 2 full days before a lead even hears a single thing from the client from the company's side. The leads were not the problem. The leads were just dying in silence. The second step we followed was looking at the landing page. The headline talked about the course, not about what the student would be able to do after completing the course. The social proof was 3 testimonials placed below a 6-field form. Third, we ran the prioritization matrix. 2 things with immediate high impact and 1 thing to build over time. Now here's the part that most people get wrong when they start fixing things, right? The order matters a lot. Each week unlocks the next week. Start in the wrong place and you'll just lose out on all the 3 weeks. Week 1 is your landing page. Always, before you touch the audience, before you change the creative, before you do anything else, just fix the page. Because everything else you do sends traffic to this page itself. Even if your CTA is WhatsApp, people will still go and look at your website before they actually make a purchase with you. If this page is broken, better targeting just sends better people to a broken experience, which essentially is beneficial to nobody. In week 1, we rewrite the headline, make it about the outcome and not the product. Move the best testimonials or case study above the fold, not on a second scroll. Reduce your forms to 3 fields, change your CTA button copies to, from submit to something that the visitor would actually want to click on. And we check your mobile loading speed because most of your traffic is actually on the phone. Week 2 is targeting. Now that the page now converts, we make sure that the right people are arriving. We build a buyer lookalike audience from your actual customers, not your website visitors per se. People who have actually paid for your product and who actually buy what you're selling. We consolidate the ad sets because audience fragmentation wastes your ad budget, and it eventually just confuses the algorithm. We test one new audience angle. We test one new audience angle against the control, and we add a retargeting layer. Warm people are cheaper to convert, and most businesses are ignoring them. We build a 4-step nurture sequence where step 1 is at the very first minute that a lead arrives. Check in with them, tell them we have their details, and that we will get back to you. It's that simple. Day 1, we send them case studies related to their business and of our best proof of work. Day 3, ask them a question about them. This opens a conversation, and that makes them think that you actually care. And day 5 is the soft ask for a call. This is the sequence that should be followed and which will short get you a call. This 3rd week will compound for months to come, and this is where your actual long-term growth lives. Most businesses have at least 2 of them active right now. And the good news is that the diagnosis is the hard part. Once you know which one it is and in what order to fix it, the path becomes straightforward. We do a growth audit for 2 clients each month, not more, because a real audit takes preparation, and we look at your actual steps before we speak to you. Your ads account and your landing page accounts and your funnel accounts, your follow-up also accounts. We do not take a guess. If you want us to run your diagnosis, DM the word audit to us and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe with us. 1 video a week, real client data and real frameworks based on that. No motivational content, no hawabazi ki baatein. See you next week.